भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्रगुरुं प्रणमाम्युदान्वहं सद्गुरुचरणरविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. Good evening, everybody. So today we are going to not see Viveka Chudamani directly, but we are going to see something else, which is related to Skanda Sashti. So now we are all celebrating Skanda Sashti festival. 6 days that are dedicated for Subramanya or Skanda. I thought it would be nice to think or to discuss something related to Skanda. I also don't want to move away from Viveka Chudamani. So we are going to meet in the middle. We are going to do some thinking about Skanda. At the same time, we are going to see something related to Viveka Chudamani. And at the same time, we are also going to see one Upanishad called as Mandukya Upanishad. So my goal for the Viveka Chudamani class is not just to give you an overview of Viveka Chudamani, but also to give you an introduction to all the Upanishads, which are the primary texts for Vedanta. So in addition to seeing a bird's eye view, in addition to seeing an overview of Viveka Chudamani, I plan to introduce various Upanishads, just in the middle, so that you guys, the students, can get the first-hand knowledge of what is being told in the Upanishad. So we are going to see Mandukya Upanishad and how it is related with Viveka Chudamani, how it is related with the portion that we are seeing in Viveka Chudamani, and how all those things can be connected to Skanda. Why? Because we are celebrating Skanda Shashti these days. So Skanda, Mahapariva says, he is an avataram of Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara is one of the 4 Manasika Putras of Brahmaji. Brahma has got 4 Putras, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. These are the 4 Manasika Putras of Brahma, and they all are Brahmagyanis. And Brahma basically created them in order to propagate the mankind, in order to create all the world. He created the 4 Brahma Kumaras, but then they were all born Brahmagyanis. So they said, hey, we are all Brahmagyanis, Brahmanishtas, we don't want to be involved in the creation of universe. And then they went to do the tapas. Of those, Sanat Kumara is the 4th one, and he himself is doing Upadesam. He does Atma Jnana Upadesham to Narada in Chandogya Upanishad. In Chandogya Upanishad, in the 7th chapter, Sanat Kumara does Atma Jnana Upadesam to Narada Maharishi. And the story is that Parameshwara, Shiva is so satisfied with Sanat Kumara, he wanted to give Sanat Kumara a boon. So Parameshwara goes to the place where Sanat Kumara resides, and Parameshwara asks Sanat Kumara, hey Sanat Kumara, what do you want? And Sanat Kumara, he's an Atmajnani. So he doesn't even recognize Parameshwara. To him, everything is Brahman, including Parameshwara. So he asks Parameshwara, hey Parameshwara, I am an Atmajnani. I understand that I am Atma. Atma does not need anything else to be happy. Because in Viveka Chudamani, we saw that whatever things we do, they all are for security, peace, and happiness. And Atma or Paramatma is an embodiment of security, peace, and happiness. So I understand that I am an embodiment of security, peace, and happiness. So why do I need a varam from you? Sanat Kumara asks to Parameshwara. Parameshwara now is perplexed. So then he asks a varam to Sanat Kumara. So Parameshwara went to Sanat Kumara to ask for a boon. But he ended up asking a boon from Sanat Kumara. And the boon that Parameshwara asked to Sanat Kumara was, Hey Sanat Kumara, can you be my son in your next Janma? Or, an amsam of you, can you be my son? Because, in Thiruvalluvar, in Tirukural, Thiruvalluvar says, Mahan Tandai Kaatrum Udavi, Ivan Tandai Ennotran Kol Yenum Sol. So Parameshwara, so he did so much tapas, and he says, he asked for the boon, please be my son. And Sanat Kumara say, okay, so be it. And that is why in the next Janma, Sanat Kumara is born to Parameshwara and Parameshwara only. Because Parvati did not ask that Varam along with Parameshwara to Sanat Kumara. That is why during the Skanda Avatara, we all know how Skanda was born. Parameshwara opened his third eye, and third eye is fire. So fire came, and that sparkle of fire, from six sparkles, one baby came, and that baby is called as Shanmukha. We all know that story. And there is no Parvati in that picture at all, because only Parameshwara asked for the boon. Sanat Kumara gave that boon only to Parameshwara. That is the story. And even in his birth, he shows that he is Jnanakaraka. How? We normally say Skanda is born out of the third eye of Parameshwara. And in TV, in movies, they all depict, Parameshwara opened the third eye, fire came out on the third eye, and that fire sparkle became Skanda. That is what, all the TV and all the movies, they all depict. But what is the reality? The reality, the tattva, is the third eye signifies knowledge. Knowledge is often referred to as fire. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, Jnanagni Dagda Karmanam. Hey Arjuna, you should burn all of your karma in the fire of knowledge. And nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vindate, also says Krishna in Gita. Fire is the one which purifies everything. The same way, jnanam is the best purifier of everyone, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So fire is often referred to as jnana. So what Parameshwara did was he opened the eyes of jnana, and people do not know how to represent jnana in a picture, so they put fire emanating from the third eye. Okay, how do I know all those things? How do I believe all those things? We believe it because with the third eye, we say Parameshwara destroyed Manmatha. So whenever there is a putrotpatti happening, whenever there is a progeny coming out, Kama or Manmatha plays a very important role. But what is happening in this case? In this case, the Putrotpatti, Skandotpatti did not happen because of Kama, but Skandotpatti happened by the destruction of Kama. And what destroys Kama? It is Jnanam that destroys Kama. So the Tattvartha is Parameshwara opened his third eye, the eye of knowledge, and with the third eye, with the knowledge, Parameshwara destroyed Kama, and out of knowledge, Skanda was born. And that is why Skanda is often related to Jnana. We say Jnana Skandan. We say Jnana Subramanian. We don't say Jnana Vishnu or Jnana Shiva. We only say Jnana Skandan or Jnana Subramanian, etc. The term Jnana is always, naturally related to Skanda. And that is why Skanda is also called as Guru. Guru Guha Janani, Guru Guha Swamini, Guru Guha. We say Guru Guha. Skanda is Guru for everybody. Guru Guha. Right? And Skanda is even Guru for his own father. We know in Tamil Nadu there is a place called as Swami Malai where Skanda does Upadesham to his own father. We all know that story. What is that story? Skanda, he is an embodiment of knowledge, and there is Brahmaji. So this Brahma is Chaturmukha Brahma, husband of Saraswati. So Brahma uses Pranava to create the entire universe. Omiti Brahma Prasauti says Taittiriya Upanishad. Brahma says Om, and by saying Omkara, he creates the entire universe. We all know that. And Skanda wanted to check Brahma whether he can use that tool properly, because Omkara is a tool with which Brahma creates the universe, and Skanda wanted to test whether Brahmaji knows the real meaning of Omkara, and he went and asked Brahmaji, "Hey Brahma, do you know the meaning of Pranava or Omkara?" And Brahma does not know. So he put Brahma into the jail. Vidau kluptadandan swaliladritandan, says Adi Shankaracharya in his Subramanya Bhujanga. Vidau kluptadandan, he punished Brahmaji. And then he went and asked Parameshwara, "Hey Parameshwara, do you know the meaning of Omkara?" And Parameshwara say, "Hey, I don't know the meaning of Omkara. Can you please teach?" Parameshwara knows the meaning of Omkara, but he wanted to learn Omkara, the meaning of Omkara, from his own son. குழலினிது யாழினிது என்பர் தம்மக்கள் மழலை சொல் கேளாதவர், says Thiruvalluvar in Tirukkural. He wanted to know the meaning of Omkara from his own son. So Parameshwara said, "Can you please teach me the meaning of Omkara?" And Skanda, Subramanya says, "Hey, I can teach you the meaning only if you accept me as your guru and you be my devoted disciple." And Parameshwara said, "Okay." But even Skanda is very small, right? Because he was a baby. So Parameshwara took Skanda, and that is what you are seeing here. Parameshwara is teaching the meaning of Omkara into the ears of Parameshwara. And that is what we are going to see now. We are going to see the meaning of Omkara. And that is the relationship between Skanda and Mandukya Upanishad. Because there are 10 major Upanishads called as Dasopanishad. ईशकेन कठप्रश्न मुण्डमाण्डूक्यतित्तिरः ऐतरेयञ्च छान्दोग्यं बृहदारण्यकं तथा. These are the 10 major Upanishads. In fact, there is an Upanishad called as Muktikopanishad, which is presented as a conversation between Sri Rama and Anjaneya. And Sri Rama says to Anjaneya, "Hey Hanuman, if you want to know the real meaning of Vedanta, if you want to understand Atma Jnanam, you have to study Mandukya Upanishad. If you don't understand, then study 10 Upanishads. If you don't understand after the study of 10 Upanishads, then study a select 32 Upanishads. If you don't understand by even after studying 32 Upanishads, then study all the 108 Upanishads, says Sri Rama. So Mandukya Upanishad is the first and foremost of all the Upanishads. And Mandukya Upanishad is present in Atharvana Veda. So this is an extra thing. And what does Mandukya Upanishad talk about? Mandukya Upanishad talks about Atman as having four padas. Pada is in double quote. Pada literally means a part. But here, Atman does not have four parts, like physically. Atman is not like gulab jamun, where you can split the gulab jamun into four portions and eat. Metaphorically, Atman is presented as one having four padas. I am going to explain four padas as 3 plus 1, because 3 is one group and the final pada is really a different group. What are the 3 padas of Atman? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrat is waking up state. You know, forget all the Upanishads. You just sit and then we think, what are the 3 states? What are the states in which I operate? We normally operate by these 3 states. We wake up. When we wake up, we see all the things that are surrounding us. And we dream, and in our dream, we see a prapancha. We see a different universe. We also have one more state where we are neither waking up nor dreaming. That is called as deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, we are not seeing the stula prapancha, or we are not seeing the dream universe as well. In fact, we are not seeing anything, and that is called as sushupti avastha. You know, when I put stula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, now you understand how this is related with Viveka Chudamani. Because in Viveka Chudamani, we are seeing stula sharira. We have seen stula sharira. We have seen in the last class sukshma sharira. We are going to see the karana sharira in the next class, in the future classes. So that is why I took Mandukya Upanishad at this stage, at this class, because it gives you an overview of all the teachings. It also gives you a sense of where we are going with the Sharira Traya. So Stula Sharira is what we experience in our waking up state or Jagrad Avastha. In Jagrad Avastha, we operate through our Stula Sharira. We operate through our gross bodies. And what are the things that are present in our gross body? Pancha Jnanendriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, etc., etc. Those are the things we operate through. And what do we experience? We experience the sthula prapancha, the gross universe. And that is called as Jagrad Avastha. And Shastra gives a technical name for the waker, for the person who wakes up, for the person who is in the waking up state, who is in the Jagrad Avastha. The Shastra gives him a technical name called as Vishwa. So Jagrad Avastha is called as waking up state, and in that waking up state, we operate through the Sthula Sharira, we experience the Sthula Prapancha, and that person is called as Vishwa. Next is Swapna Avastha. Swapna is dream. In Swapna Avastha, what do we experience? We don't experience our Sthula Sharira. We don't operate through our Sthula Sharira. We don't experience the Sthula Prapancha. Rather, we operate majorly through our Sukshma Sharira. And what is Sukshma Sharira? We saw Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Those are the major components of Sukshma Sharira. Manas is the emotional faculty. Buddhi is the intelligent faculty. Ahankara is the I-ness. The notion that I am, self-awareness is Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. Chitta is the Chaitanya Swarupam, that with which we experience everything. So Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, and Panchajnanendriyas, the faculty to see, the facility to do all the karmas, the facility to understand everything. So all those put together constitute our Sukshma Sharira. And what do we experience in our Sukshma Sharira, in our dream state? We experience a universe that is made up of the that is made up of our manas. So whatever the dream we see, they are not a physical thing, but they are all made up of our mind, says Shastra. So we experience the Sukshma Prapancha in our Swapnavastha. And that person, the person who experiences Swapnavastha, is technically called as Taijasa. Next is Sushupti Avastha. Sushupti Avastha is the deep sleep state where we are neither waking up nor dreaming. It is a dreamless sleep. It is called as Sushupti Avastha. And Sushupti Avastha, we experience, we operate through Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira, it is, Karana Sharira is that Sharira with which all the things exist in a potential state, like a seed. Like just like a whole big banyan tree exists in potential state in a seed. In the same way, the Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, the Sthula Prapancha and Sukshma Prapancha exist in Karana Sharira in a potential state, and that person who experiences Sushupti Avastha is called as Prajna. Jagrat is Vishwa. Swapna is Taijasa. Sushupti is Prajna. How do I remember this? Let us go back to Lalita Sahasranamam. विश्वरूपा जागरिणी स्वपन्ति तैजसात्मिका शुक्ता प्राज्ञात्मिका. So Vishwarupa Jagarini, Swapanti Swapna Taijasatmika, Shupta Sushupta Pragnatmika. So I made it very easy to remember what is what. But Lalita Sahasranamam does not end there. What is the next statement? Shupta Pragnatmika Turya or Turiya. So Mandukya Upanishad says the Turiyam is the real Atman. I said Atman has got 4 parts, said Mandukya Upanishad. The first 3 parts are Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. They are not real Atman, but the real Atman is the 4th part, which is called as Turiya or Turiyam. And I am giving you the exact shloka in the Mandukya Upanishad. This is a very important shloka worth memorizing. Nantah pragyam na bahish pragyam no bhayatah pragyam na pragyana ghanam na pragyam na pragyam adrishtam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam एकात्म प्रत्ययसारं प्रपंचोपशमं शांतं शिवम अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. Here the word chaturtham is called as turiyam. Turiyam literally means the 4th. So chaturtham means the 4th one. Mandukya Upanishad explains the turiyam state as nanta prajnam. That state in which you are not antaprajna. Normally, the dreamer is called as antaprajna because he experiences everything inside his mind. So, Turiyam is not antaprajna. He is not aware of outside. Na bahishprajnam. No bhayata prajnam. He is not, like a mixture of both antaprajna or bahishprajna. And he says nanta pragyam navahish pragyam. So he is not jagrat, he is not swapna, he is not sushupti. And what else he is? He is adrishtam. Turiyam cannot be seen with your eyes. Avyavaharyam. Turiyam does not come under any transaction. Vyavaharam means transaction. Atman cannot be, is not transactable. Agrahyam. Grahyam means which can be perceived, which can be seen, which can be felt. Atman is not, it cannot be perceived, it is not object of any sense organ. Alakshanam, it is not, it cannot be inferred. Achintyam, it cannot be even thought. Avyapadeshyam, it cannot be told. Okay, this is the swarupam of Atman, nobody can tell. Ekatma pratyayasaram, but what is Atman? Ekatma pratyayasaram, the thought, the awareness that there is something that says I am there. In all the three avasthas, there is something which is common for all the three avasthas. Even during Sushupti avastha, where we have a very deep sleep, we are not waking up, we are not dreaming, but next day when somebody wakes you up, after you wake up, how did you sleep? We say, hey, I did not have any dream. I slept so calmfully. I slept so peacefully. We have to ask this question: who's the person who experienced that deep sleep state? If somebody asks, who is the person who experiences the wake up state, we have an answer. If somebody asks, who is the person who experiences the dreaming state, the dreamer, we have an answer because we see dream. I am not the dream, so I experience dream. There is a notion of I in the Jagrad Avastha, there is a notion of I in the Swapna Avastha, but in the Sushupti Avastha, where there is no experience at all, there is only the experiencer without any experiences. And that experiencer who experiences no experience. It's a very technical, mind-boggling thing. In Sushupti Avastha, there is an experiencer. Only because there is an experiencer, next day morning we say, I had a very good night's sleep. I had a very pleasant, peaceful sleep. I was not distracted by any dream at all. So we are not experiencing anything. But who is there? There is an experiencer who experiences nothing. So that is called as Turiyam. That experiencer who is present in all the three states, but who is different than all the three states. That experiencer is called as Turiyam. That experiencer is called as Atman. If I want to make it a little bit easier, we have gold. We have a lump of gold. And that lump of gold has got different states. A jimiki, a earring is one state of that gold. A bangle is another state of the gold. A chain is another state of the gold. If somebody asks, what is that which is common in all the three? which is common in chain, which is common in bangle, which is present in earring. What do we say? We say the same gold. The gold is common in all the three states. In the same way, the experiencer is common in all the three states. The experiencer is called as Atman. That experiencer is called as Turiyam. And the experiencer can never be experienced. How? If I give you a picture of a room and then I ask you to enumerate what are all the things that are present in that room. And what do we say? We say every damn thing that is present in the room except for one thing. Do you guys know what is that thing? That thing is always present in that room, and we see that room because of that thing. But when somebody asks what is that thing, we have an empty, we don't come up with an answer readily. And that thing is the camera. Remember, I showed you a picture of a room. That means a camera should be there. And we see everything in that room because of the camera. But that camera can never be seen in the picture. The camera is the experiencer which experiences every holy thing in that room, but that camera can never be experienced. In the same way, that experiencer who experiences the stula prapancha in the Jagrada Avastha, that experiencer who experiences the Sukshma Prapancha during Swapnavastha, that experiencer who experiences nothing, avidya, during Sushupti Avastha, that experiencer is called as Turiyam. That experiencer can never be experienced. But what is that we can do? That experiences can only be understood at an intellectual level. If somebody says, I saw Atma, it means that they have not seen Atman at all. Because Atma is the experiencer which experiences everything. Atma cannot be experienced at all. That is why here everything it says, na antaprajnam, na bahishprajnam, everything is negation here. This is a yukti that Shastra uses. It is called as neti neti yukti. Na iti, na iti. It negates everything. This is just like that sculpture example that I gave you on the other class. When a sculptor is making a sculpture, what does he do? He basically removes all the unwanted part, and whatever that remains in that stone is the sculpture, is the idol. In the same way, Shastra say it is not this, it is not Jagrat, it is not Vishwa, it is not Taijasa, it is not Prajna, but what it is? It is Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. We cannot even tell anything about Atman except for these few words. It is ever peaceful. In our deep sleep state, we find a lot of peace. Nobody says, I slept horrible even without any dream. We always say, I slept peacefully, even not distracted by any dream. So, Shantam. Shivam literally means Mangalam. It is ever auspicious. Advaitam. In waking up, we see differences. I am there, this laptop is there, this fan is there, this cell phone is there. So there is a difference between myself and all the things that are surrounding us. Even in the dream state, there is a difference. even in the dream state, there is a dream I, there is a dream lion. Remember, both dream I and dream lion, they all are made up in our mind. But we see a perceived difference between a dream I and the dream lion. But in the deep sleep state, we don't see any difference at all. In Turiyam, there is no difference. That is why there is no second thing. That is why it is called as Advaitam. Advaitam. And here Shastra say that Turiyam is Chaturtham Manyante. People call that as Chaturtham, but it is not really Chaturtham. It is not really the fourth thing. It is that Atman. It is called as fourth thing because of want of words. Because we cannot call it by any other name. Shastra, it is just a placeholder name. Chaturtham, Turiyam, it is just a placeholder name for Atman. And that is what here Shastra says. Sa Atma Savigneyaha. That Turiyam, that experiencer is the Atma. And it has to be Savigneyaha. It has to be known. There are several other philosophies. It says Paramatma is on the other end, Jivatma is on the other end. Jivatma has to do lot of karma, Jivatma has to do bhakti, Jivatma has to gain jnanam, and Jivatma has to dissolve, has to merge in Paramatma. But that is not what Shruti says. Paramatma has to be understood. It has to be understood, and that mere understanding of Paramatma, that mere knowing of Paramatma gives you mukti. Nanyah pantha ayanaya vidyate, says Purusha Suktam. So the understanding that my real nature is not waking up state, the understanding that my real nature is not the dreamer, the understanding that my real nature is not the deep sleeper, but my real nature is that experiencer who experience the waking up state, who experiences the dream, who experiences the who experiences even the deep sleep state. That process, that intellectual process is called as moksha. That intellectual process is called as mukti. So that's what the seventh mantra, very, very important mantra in Mandukya Upanishad. In fact, very, very important mantra in all the Upanishads. If we know, if we completely understand this mantra, one person gets moksha. Okay, all these are clear. Where does Omkara come into picture? Because I said at the beginning of Mandukya Upanishad explains Omkara, but here there is no Omkara at all. I can hear that questions that you are asking. That is what I'm coming next. Mandukya Upanishad says Omkara is equivalent to Atma. Atma is same as Pranava. How Pranava has got three matras. We all know Omkara is the combination of Akara, Ukara, and Makara. That's what we normally say. So when I say Om, I am really saying these three letters Akara, Ukara, Makara. And when I say Om, Om, in between the two Omkaras, there is a silent. And that silence is called as Amatra. So, Mandukya Upanishad splits Omkara into four parts. Just like how Atma was split into four parts, four padas, Mandukya Upanishad splits Omkara into four padas. It says the Akara of the Omkara is the Jagrat, is the Vishwa, is that person who experiences the wake up state. That is the Akara of Omkara. The ukara of Omkara is the Taijasa, is the dreamer. The makara of the Omkara, it is the sleeper, the prajna who experiences the deep sleep state. And finally, the amatra part of Omkara, which is not the part of Om, but a silence after the Omkara. In the same way, how Turiya is not the part of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, but it is really a separate entity which experiences Jagrat, which experiences Swapna, which experiences Sushupti. In the same way, the Amatra, the gap between two Omkaras, is the Turiya, that is the real Atman. Ends Mandukya Upanishad. And when we think back, Lord Muruha would have told the same thing as Upadesham to Parameshwara for Pranavartha. So, with this, we will end today's class. So, in today's class, what did we learn? There are three states of experiences: Jagrat, which is the waking up state; Swapna, which is the dream state; Sushupti, which is the deep sleep state. But Atman is the experiencer of all the three states. We have, in mathematics, there is something called as LCM. What is the least common divisor? What is that number which is present in all the three numbers? In the same way, when we take the LCM of Jagrata, Swapna, and Sushupti, we end with Atma. So, Atma is that person, Atma is that entity which experiences Jagrata, Swapna, and Sushupti. And fortunately or unfortunately, since the real Atman is the experiencer, it cannot be really experienced, but it can only be known intellectually. And that process of knowing, that process of intellectual understanding is called as moksha, is called as mukti. And Pranava, Omkara, basically teaches us the same thing. So the next time when we chant Omkara, have this in our mind. There are several people who do Omkara meditation and all. Next time when you do Omkara meditation, intellectually split that Omkara into three letters: Akara, Ukara, Makara, and imagine Jagrad Avastha with Akara, Swapnavastha with Ukara, Sushupti Avastha with Makara, and that gap between two Omkaras, try to imagine that as Atman. And it is this process is what is, and it is this which is the real meaning of Pranava. So with this, we will finish today's class. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.